Hey guys, Mason here, and today I'm going to talk about the top 10 ADV mods for your KLR 650. Alright, so today I thought what I would do is add to the video that I made on the first 5 mods for your KLR 650. I will link that video here. And that video covered the rocks risers, the brush guards, the KLR dash to move your windscreen up, protection group, which is crash bars and skid plate, and foot pegs. So those I think are pretty typical things to do for anyone that's going to ride this bike in any capacity, whether it's commuting or off-road ADV style riding. So what we're gonna do is cover the next 5 things that I would do to this bike to make it specifically what I've done here as an ADV or an adventure motorcycle. So that's what we're going to cover today. 6 through 10 of the KLR 650 adventure build. Number 6, tires. Because I mean, let's face it, we're not going to get too far in anything that's wet or slippery on the tires that come on the KLR 650. Now, this is going to be the only thing in the list that potentially could be seen as a wear item. Everything else is a bolt-on, but I really do truly believe that it's very dependent on what tires you choose on how the bike handles off-road. Now, there's lots of different suppliers of tires out there. Some guys like the Hardwired because the mileage is extreme. I like the TKC 80s, a little less mileage but amazing grip off-road. Old Mason, for example, loves the Michelin T63s. But whatever you choose, pick something that suits your riding style. If it's more on the highway and you don't get into anything that's wet, you just do a little bit of gravel roads, there's great tires out there for that. And if you do get into a bunch of wet stuff like we do around here, there's great tires for that too. But I do suggest changing the tires from the OEM ones to make this a much better off-road ADV style bike. Number 7 is some kind of a hardwired charging system. From the battery up to the front, whether it's like this where you just plug in the old style cigarette lighter plug. I have one here that has some USBs that runs the stuff on my dash. I also have this wired back that plugs into my tank bag so all my batteries for my cameras charge. It also gives me a spot on the front that I can plug in my Senna. But some kind of hardwired charging system, so you're not monkeying about when you're out trying to find somewhere to plug in your devices to charge them. You can just charge them all on the bike and you don't have to worry about finding power along on your trip. Number 8, off-road lighting. Now, I have a couple of reasons for this. And you don't need all of them, but I think having some is a really good idea. When we landed on Manitoulin Island last year and got off the ferry in the dark, my low beam bulb was blown. So having the ability to turn on my lower floods as I was going down the road without really pissing off everyone that was coming towards me was a huge benefit. Now, obviously on the trails and when you're off-road, having the ability to cast more light out to the sides of the trail and to have them turn with the bars so you can kind of direct the light where you want it is extremely handy. So that's why the off-road lighting is number 8 on my list. Number 9 is going to be the drill-through rear subframe bolt. Now, that one I think is important because as ADV riders, we tend to put a ton of weight on the back of our bikes. Even if you're a minimalist, you're still adding a lot of weight to the back by the time you carry some extra fuel, water for your trip, some clothing, some food, all of your tools. It doesn't seem to matter how much you try to pare it down. It always ends up looking like we're leaving for a month. And there's tents, chairs, all of the camping supplies, and it really adds up. So the rear drill through subframe bolt What it does is it replaces the 2 bolts that originally hold your rear subframe to the main frame of the bike with 1 long bolt that goes right through with a nut on the end, and it really does make it bomber. The kit also comes with a much heavier grade, lower rear subframe mount bolt. So those are known for stripping too, and I think that solves that problem. I've had no problem with this bike, and it runs around most of the time with a fair little bit of weight on it. Number 10 on my list is a manual fuel petcock. The vacuum petcock that comes on the KLR, they have had issues with the diaphragm on it breaking down with the ethanol fuels, and little bits and pieces of the rubber diaphragm sort of blocking fuel flow and just generally letting you down on the side of the road. So switching to the manual petcock stops all that. It's as simple as turning it on, fuel flows by gravity, shut it off, and it stops. Now, the added bonus to having the manual is that without the bike running, because you don't need any vacuum, you can pull off your fuel line, put on a separate sectional line, which I carry with me, and just by turning the tap on, I can bleed fuel off into another container or jug for a riding buddy. Melon 1, the tank on the CRF 250L is quite small. We haven't had to do this yet, but it's going to mean that next year I won't carry as much extra fuel. Now that I have this and I have the ability, because I always have almost twice as much as he does, so I can bleed some fuel off for him and not have to carry the extra weight on the bike. So that's a great way for me to pare down some weight on my equipment next year. That's my list. There you go. Top 10 ADV mods for the KLR 650. And I mean, there's 100 things you can do to it or more. And there's a lot of engine mods and performance mods and stuff like that that you can do. Check the forums, guys. There's loads of stuff out there. But as far as bolt-ons and making it work really good off-road, this has been my experience. Yeah, well, thanks for watching. Follow along, like it if you liked it. Drop me a comment down below and tell me what you think are your top 10 for the off-road style ADV adventure ride mods, and see if we're close. And it's always fun to see what everyone else thinks. So that's it for me. Like it if you liked it, subscribe for more, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye for now. Mason out. Hey guys, if you liked that video, hit the thumbs up button for us. It goes a long way towards helping out the channel. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button in the upper corner for new videos every Sunday. Be glad to have you along for the ride.